we have to have the conversation about our boy BA, man. Brian Asamoah, man. What's up? Like, we sit here and we talk about Lewis Cine. We talk about how Lewis Cine's a bust. He may not make the 53-man roster. Well, I was sitting back thinking a couple days ago, and I'm like, where your boy BA at? And I had to do some research because as last season was progressing, going up and down, Kirk Cousins getting hurt, there was just a lot going on, a lot of adversity, right? Not only for the players, the coaches, but for the fans, in particular me, all right? I was going through it too, man, just the ups and downs. So like Brian Asamoah went like under the radar. Like I didn't even understand what was happening. All I knew is that I wasn't seeing him, but it really didn't hit me until a couple days ago where I'm like, you know what? In 2022, he could have easily been the best draft pick that the Vikings made. That is a fact, all right? Like when we seen him, all right, not only the Giants game where he had the strip fumble, we all know that play. That's the play that really had most Vikings fans jumping on board like, hey, we got one. This dude right here is a dog, you hear me? And then you had the Colts game where he made a big hit, forced a fumble as well. I mean, it was kind of like a double forced fumble. Two players were involved, you see that. But again, it still was a beast of a play. Now, I think about Brian Asamoah and I think like this. Maybe Brian Flores just has a preference. We know that he has a preference when it comes to defensive backs. He likes them tall, lanky. He likes those big, widespread defensive backs that can get their extremities out and knock balls down and stuff like that, but can also pass rush. We know that that's what he likes, okay? Man-to-man type guys. We know that for a fact. Now, when it comes to linebackers, it's like, is Brian Asamoah just not big enough for him, man? Does Brian Flores just not like BA because he doesn't have the size? Now, some would say Ivan Pace Jr. is smaller, but Ivan Pace, he's a little different. I'm gonna keep it real with you. Like Ivan Pace just, he plays like a big dude, bro. He really does. Like he has reckless abandon. You know what I mean? So that's one thing about Pace Gang that makes him different from Brian Asamoah. But Brian Asamoah is still a dog in my opinion, and I want to see the potential. I think it's there. It's still there. I seen it. We all seen it as Vikings fans, so we need to see it more. So I went and did some research and I figured out what was going on with him. So we're going to read a couple things here, but I'm going to tell you, man, I'm excited to see what he does. And I see him recently too, just to throw that out there. He was rocking the 33. I seen him recently pop up in a video. He's wearing number 2 now. So he done changed his number again. You know what I mean? So he needs to, hopefully this is the number just in case we want to cop a jersey this year. He sticks to number 2. You know what I mean? Because his jerseys are losing value. You keep changing number every year, man. But let's make it happen, man. Vikings linebacker Brian Asamoah II announced on social media that he underwent successful surgery this week. Can't wait to attack this rehab and get back to work. Now, this was tweeted back in January. Okay, so this, at the moment right now that we're talking about this, I'm sure the rehab process is coming to an end, or at least should be. I don't know how severe the shoulder injury was, but it's talked about that he had a shoulder injury. Well, I also know he had an ankle issue, but I think the shoulder is what he actually went and had surgery on. And I don't know how severe it was, but obviously he needed surgery, and it should be good by this moment now. So I think that the competitive nature, him competing to get some reps, are probably in play going into training camp. And it should be, man. And I'm excited to see him. I actually want to see Brian Asamoah. Like when you compare Lewis Cine to Brian Asamoah, bro, like listen, Lewis Cine, the safety room is stacked. The odds are against him. I think Brian Asamoah, like for sure, there has to be some kind of packages that you could use this guy, bruh. There has to be. Like just of what we saw, man. I mean, it's sad kind of that he got put on the back burner. Maybe it was just due to injury, or maybe it was just due to not being able to keep up with the talent level of Ivan Pace Jr. And now we went and got Cashman. What does that mean for Brian Asamoah? You feel me? But let's talk about it. It said the 66th overall pick out of Oklahoma in 2022, Asamoah was seen as a potential breakout candidate coming into the season on paper. The release of Eric Kendricks carved the path of consistent play time for Asamoah, who flashed his upside when he forced and recovered a fumble against the Giants tight end Daniel Bellinger in week 16 of his rookie year. All right, we all know that, man. We all remember that play. We just talked about it, right? That play pretty much put the fans on notice, man. It definitely put me on notice. But then it said things didn't play out that way. He was quickly surpassed on the linebacker depth chart by undrafted rookie sensation Ivan Pace Jr. who was a key player for the Vikings defense all year. Meanwhile, Asamoah played just 36 defensive snaps after seeing 121 as a rookie. It would make plenty sense if he just wasn't right health-wise all year, like Wolfson reported. Shout out Dougie Wolfson, man. Dougie Wolfson be tapped in, you know what I'm saying? Like, he in the building. Shout out to him, man. Shout out to them fellas over there on Purple Daily, too. They be putting in that work. You know what I mean? But, again, that tells the story. And I just want to make sure, like, I titled it, Where is Brian Asamoah? Where is he? Where is he, man? I hope we get to see him, because as a Vikings fan, I just think that was a good pickup. And it's looking like this 2022 draft class, I mean, this thing is diminishing down to absolutely nothing. All right, we're starting to have nothing to hold on to. And I'm gonna tell you, BA, you gotta give us some hope there, man. You gotta give us something to hold on to from that 2022 draft class. You really do. You know, some people can say we're holding on to Ed Ingram. That's cool. You can feel that way if you want. But BA, man, like, come on, man. We need an impact player. And he seems to have that potential, not to be a superstar, but to be an impact player that you have to recognize every Sunday. And you know that he's possibly going to make a big play every single game. At least one he's good for, whether that's a sack, recovering a fumble, just a bunch of tackles, going from sideline to speed. It's either that he cannot compete with the linebackers we have on the roster, or Brian Flores just doesn't like his body type and just doesn't think that having a smaller, undersized linebacker, especially two of them, being that he picked, obviously, Ivan Pace over him, he just doesn't feel like two of them are going to benefit the football team at the moment. Let me know how you feel about Brian Asamoah, man. Are you excited to see him? Do you think he's going to compete for a starting job? Is he going to even make the 53-man roster? I mean, is him and Lewis Cine on the chopping block? Let's talk about it in the comments. Appreciate y'all tapping in. Holla at your boy.
Yeah, smooth summer, who running? I hear them talking, but they ain't gon' do nothing. Celebration, I might have a toast with you. I'm feeling good, I'm feeling great, I'm terrific. We ain't taking no losses, we winning. Undefeated, check the percentage.